Hello students, welcome to our channel. In this class, we are going to discuss another important poem, that is an elementary school classroom in a slum, right? So, an elementary school classroom in a slum. This poem is by Stephen Spender. Stephen Spender, he was an English poet and an essayist, and he left University College, Oxford, without taking a degree and went to Berlin in 1930. Stephen Spender, he had a keen interest in politics, right? So he declared himself as a socialist, as a pacifist. Pacifist means peacemaker. Person who believes that war and violence, these are just unjustifiable thing. So he was a pacifist, and this major work of Stephen, an elementary school classroom in a slum, concentrated on themes of social injustice and class inequalities. So these are the two significant themes of this poem: social injustice and class inequalities. Okay students, let's get started. Far, far from gusty waves, these children's faces like rootless weeds. The hair torn round their pallor, the tall girl with her way down head, the paper seeming boy with rat's eyes, the stunted, unlucky air of twisted bones, reciting a father's gnarled disease, his lesson from his desk at back of the dim class, one unnoted, sweet and young, his eyes live in a dream of squirrel's game in tree room other than this. See, like rootless weeds. Weeds are unwanted plants that grow on their own, right? So these children, they are like rootless weeds. So here, poet is comparing these children with rootless weeds. Rootless weeds means unwanted plants. These children, they are unwanted. Nobody is helping them. Children, they are like unwanted. The tall girl with her way down head, the paper seeming boy. See the description. Paper seeming boy. It means these children, they are very weak. No energy is there, no charm is there, dim, dull. So the stunted, unlucky heir. See, heir means successor. A person who legally inherit his parents' property, money, but these children, they are like unlucky heir. Unlucky heir because they didn't inherit money, property. The only thing they inherit, it was disease, gnarled disease, right? So a father's gnarled disease. Gnarled means twisted bones, disease. His lesson from his desk at back of the dim class. See, dim class. It means this boy, he was not paying attention to the class. Why? Because the class is a dim, dark area, and that boy, he was not paying attention to the class, right? One unnoted, sweet and young, his eyes live in a dream. His eyes live in a dream. It means this boy has a dream of achieving something. He wants to achieve everything. His eyes reflect that greed. Uski eyes reflect कर रही हैं वो greed कि he wants to achieve everything. But circumstances, surroundings, environment, not favorable. So his eyes live in a dream of squirrel's game in a tree room other than this. It means, it seemed that this boy, he was rather interested in playing with squirrels in the tree house, right? So there are so many poetic devices Stephen Spender used in this first stanza, like rootless weeds, paper seeming boy, rat's eyes. So this first stanza is very important, and the repetition of this word far, far. So many poetic devices in this first stanza. So I guess आपको ये first stanza समझ आ गया होगा class. Now move on to the next one. On sour cream walls, donations, Shakespeare's head, cloudless at dawn, civilized dome, riding all cities. See, on sour cream walls, it means describes, the walls of the school. Walls, which looks unpleasant, not timely painted, not clean, and donations, people, these walls are decorated with pictures, maps and prominent figures. So these things are donated by people. So one of them is Shakespeare's head, and picture of Shakespeare, and on that picture Shakespeare's head, it looks like cloudless at dawn, means Shakespeare's head looks like the rising sun at the horizon, and that sun is riding all cities in civilized dome. But civilized dome means area, posh area, or civilized area that is decorated and neat and clean. And on the other hand, slum area's condition is deteriorating. So that sun is riding all cities, but slum area is segregated from that. Belt flowery Troilus Valley, open-handed map, awarding the world its world, and yet for these children, these windows, not this map, their world, where all their future is painted with a fog. So belt flowery Troilus Valley, this expression refers to natural beauty, which the slum children, they are deprived of. So natural beauty, which the slum children are deprived of, means these children never get to enjoy the beauty of valleys, flowery valleys. Open-handed map, it means again the donation of a map. So this map, open-handed map, awarding the world its world. So this map is showing different countries, beautiful valleys, right? But these things, they are like a window for them. But this map is irrelevant for slum children, because they live in a different area. Their world, their particular surrounding is different from what is shown in that map. So their world is only what they see outside of that window of the slum area, right? So these children, they are deprived of basic amenities, and their future is full of darkness. Their future is like a fog, like a future is painted with a fog. So these children, they are far away from the light of knowledge and education. A narrow street sealed in with a lead sky, far, far from rivers, capes, and stars of words. So a narrow street sealed in with a lead sky. See, lead sky means, again, dull, without any charm, grey. So this lead sky is a symbol of hopelessness and despair. So these children, these are their aspirations, their hopes, these are declining, right? So their hopes, aspiration are declining. And on the other hand, if we say blue sky means hopes, aspiration, right? But leaden sky means again smoggy, toxic, polluted, right? So it shows the monotony of the life of these slum children. It was like confined throughout their life. Now they are far, far from rivers, capes, and stars of words. It means these children, they are deprived of all the bounties of nature, and they spend their life in narrow street means street of slum area that is full of filth and dirt, right? So they never get an opportunity to explore the natural beauty. So they are these children, they are far far from rivers, capes and stars of words. So these are natural beauties, and these slum children, they never get an opportunity to explore natural beauty of rivers, mountains, stars, right? So a narrow street sealed in with a lead sky, far far from rivers, capes and stars of words. Now move on to the next stanza. Surely Shakespeare is wicked, the map a bad example, with ships and sun and love tempting them to steal. Again, that picture of Shakespeare is useless for them, because Shakespeare, a prominent literary figure, and these children, slum schools where hardly any learning take place, and where children are troubled by disease and despair, so literary training is useless. So this picture of Shakespeare is meaningless for them, because these children, they are troubled by disease and despair. Earlier I told you that they are unlucky heir of Nile disease, right? So these children, their life is full of trouble, and literary training means explaining them about Shakespeare is like meaningless. So these children, they have faced so many hardships, and they feel every other person to be their enemy. So that is why for them Shakespeare is like a wicked man. And map is a bad example. So why this map is a bad example? Because the world for these children is confined to that narrow filthy streets of slum. So map of them is a bad example, because it rouses in them hopes and aspiration which may never be fulfilled. So उनकी hopes aspiration increase होती है, और वो कभी फुलफिल ही नहीं हो पाएगी, बिकॉज उनको एक करेक्ट अपॉर्चुनिटी, एक राइट अपॉर्चुनिटी ही प्रोवाइड नहीं करी जा रही. So map for them is a bad example, right? For lives that slyly turn in their cramped holes, it means their houses, their rooms, from fog to endless night. It means these children, their life is going towards an endless night. It means their future is full of darkness. From fog to endless night, on their slag heap, these children wear skins peeped through by bones and spectacles of steel with mended glasses. See, for lives that slyly turn in their cramped holes. Slyly turn means cleverly turn and twist. So the life of the slum children cleverly turn and twist in their cramped holes, because these slum children, they spend their entire life striving and struggling, for their sustenance in small dirty rooms, where life seems to slither and slog. Means कि इनकी लाइफ उस फिल्दी नैरो स्ट्रीट में बाउंडेड रह गई है. ये जो चिल्ड्रन हैं, ये उस सिचुएशन से बाहर आना चाहते हैं, बट दे डोंट हैव अ करेक्ट अपॉर्चुनिटी. इनके पास कोई एक अच्छी, एक राइट अपॉर्चुनिटी इन्हें नहीं मिल पा रही. On their slag heap, these children wear skins peeped through by bones and spectacles of steel with mended glasses. Slag heap means, large pile of waste material. So this dirt and garbage is the world for the slum children. उनके लिए ये garbage heap ही उनका world है. So these children wear skins peeped through by bones. Means skins peeped through by bones. This expression is very important. It shows that these children are very weak. These children being undernourished, they look more like skeletons. So उनकी बॉडी, उनकी बोन्स जो हैं उनके स्किन से दिख रही हैं बिल्कुल क्लियरली. सो देयर बोन्स लिटरली पीपिंग आउट ऑफ देयर थिन स्किन कवर, राइट? सो they are malnourished, or we can say undernourished children. With mended glasses like bottle bits on stones. So these children, they are spectacles of steel with mended glasses. It means they don't have any other choice. They have to wear mended glasses, spectacles of steel with mended glasses. So here, like bottle bits on stone. So their spectacles, cracks on that spectacles, mended glasses looks like bottle bits on stone. Bottle bits on stones means their life is shattered and broken like बिट्स ऑफ बॉटल्स, छोटे छोटे पीसेस, टूटी हुई बॉटल के छोटे छोटे पीसेस की तरह उनकी लाइफ हो चुकी है. सो देयर लाइफ इज शैटर्ड एंड ब्रोकन, and these children, they are deprived of even the basic amenities of life, right? All of their time and space are foggy slum, so blot their maps with slums as big as doom, right? Life there is worse than death. स्लम एरिया में, स्लम एरिया के जितने भी स्टूडेंट्स हैं या चिल्ड्रन हैं या पीपल हैं, उनकी लाइफ जो है डेथ से भी बुरी हो चुकी है. लाइफ देयर इज़ वर्स देन डेथ. सो these slums are stalking the world just like death stalks its victim, right? So Stephen tries to explain that these children have to face so many hardships in their lives as these slums are getting bigger. So they will destroy the future of these children, and it's very difficult for such children to escape from them. उनके लिए बहुत मुश्किल है स्लम एरिया से बाहर आना. सो अगर उनको एक करेक्ट अपॉर्चुनिटी मिले और टाइमली वो अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ मिले तो दे कैन डू एनी थिंग, बिकॉज दे हैव ड्रीम्स. उनके अपने ड्रीम्स हैं, उन्हें अपना कुछ अचीव करना है. बट लैक ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटी इज़ लाइक एंड डिटोरियोरेटिंग कंडीशन ऑफ दैट स्लम एरिया. ये दोनों ही चीज़ें जो हैं उनकी लाइफ को ब्लर बना रही हैं, उनकी लाइफ को देयर लाइफ इज़ पेंटेड लाइक अ फॉग, राइट? नेक्स्ट stanza is, unless governor, inspector, visitor, this map becomes their window, and these windows that shut upon their lives like a catacombs. See, that elementary school is ill-equipped. There is no proper infrastructure. So here Stephen is saying that these schools springs into life only when a governor, inspector or a visitor comes to visit the school. So not just visit, but they should take notice of the problems being faced by these slum children, and he urges them to change the life of these slum children and make the world map a reality for them, because now that map is meaningless, useless, and if government should take notice, only then that world map become a reality, right? So there is a need to break the restrictions which are put on them due to poverty and lack of resources that shut upon their lives like a catacombs. See, catacombs means a tomb or cemetery area, right? So these slum children, they are denied the bounties of the world beyond their slums. So their lives are shut up in the cemeteries of this slum. So उनकी लाइफ बस बाउंडेड है, बंद होके रह गई है इस सेमेटरीज एरिया में, इस कैटेकॉम्स एरिया में. मीन्स कैटेकॉम, सेमेटरी, ये वर्ड स्लम के लिए यूज़ किए गए हैं. सो that shut upon their lives like catacombs. Break, oh break, open till they break the town, and show the children to green fields, and make their world run azure on gold sands, and let their tongues run naked into books, the white and green leaves open, history theirs whose language is the sun. So break, oh break, open till they break the town. So here Stephen hopes that these children would one day break free from the chains of the slum, and they will rise above all atrocities and economic injustice, and they will create a beautiful world for themselves. ये सारी hopes हैं poet की कि one day they will definitely break this foundation, this chain of the slum, and they will rise above all economic injustice and atrocity, and they will definitely create a beautiful world for themselves, right? So show the children to green fields and make their world run azure on gold sands. These words, poet visualizes this world for these children. Poet visualizes a world where these children will be free. They will freely moving in that green fields in a carefree manner, they would not be troubled by the injustice of life. So that is what Stephen visualizes for these slum children, right? And now run azure on gold sands and let their tongues run naked into books, the white and green leaves open. So green fields, gold sands, these are the symbol of carefree and happy life. It refers that a world where social and economic injustice does not prevail, and these children and everyone enjoys the right to live a happy life. Let their tongues run naked into books. It means that Stephen strongly feels that the life of these children will be very miserable and unfulfilled unless they are educated. So these children be exposed to the world of books. So education is necessary, very important for them. They should be educated so that they can break all the foundations, atrocities and economic injustice. They can break themselves free from the confines of the slums. Next is history theirs whose language is the sun. History theirs whose language is the sun. So the symbol of sun, it means the grace and light of God. So light of education, light of knowledge. So poet strongly feels that it is the educated alone who can transform the world. So education is must. Education is the only thing that can create a world, a happy world, a world where there is no economic injustice, where there is no foundation, right? Okay student, this is it. ये आपके ओवरऑल स्टेंजास थे. आई होप आपको ये समझ आ गया होगा. एंड नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस पोएटिक डिवाइसेस, राइट. सो फार फार आपका फर्स्ट स्टेंजा जो है, इसमें फार फार वर्ड यूज़ किया है. इट मीन्स रिपीटेशन. नेक्स्ट इज रूटलेस वीड्स. अगेन ये आपका सिमिली है. लाइक रूटलेस वीड्स, लाइक वर्ड यूज़ किया है. एंड वी आर कंपेयरिंग स्लम चिल्ड्रन विद वीड्स. सो लाइक रूटलेस वीड्स, ये आपका सिमिली है. नेक्स्ट इज पेपर सीमिंग बॉय. इट मीन्स वी आर कंपेयरिंग दैट बॉय विद अ पेपर, बट विदाउट यूजिंग एज एंड लाइक वर्ड. एज और लाइक वर्ड का यूज़ नहीं है. पेपर सीमिंग बॉय इट मीन्स मेटाफॉर. ओके, सो रिपीटेशन है, सिमिली है एंड मेटाफर है. सो आपके फर्स्ट स्टेंजा में रिपीटेशन यूज़ किया है, मेटाफर यूज़ किया है और सिमिली, ये 3 पोएटिक डिवाइसेस यूज़ किए हैं. ओके, नेक्स्ट इज सेकेंड स्टेंजा. ऑन साव क्रीम वॉल्स, donations, Shakespeare's head, cloudless at dawn. So on sour cream walls, so here we are describing walls with that sour cream color से, dull color से compare किया है. on sour cream walls it means metaphor, comparison है but without using as an like word, right. next is इसी stanza में ही, a narrow street sealed in with a lead sky. Lead sky, so here we are comparing sky with a lead color. It means the black color, toxic, polluted, so dull. इन सारे कलर से कंपैरिजन हुआ है. सो ये भी एक मेटाफर है, राइट. सो लीड स्काई ये भी आपका मेटाफर है. एंड सावर क्रीम वॉल्स वो भी आपका मेटाफर था. नेक्स्ट इसी स्टेंजा में ही एसोनेंस भी है. एसोनेंस इट मीन्स रिपीटेशन ऑफ वॉवल साउंड्स, जहाँ पर आपके वॉवल साउंड्स की रिपीटेशन हो. सो बेल्ट फ्लारी ट्रॉयलेस वैली, सो साउंड ऑफ ई. सो बेल्ट फ्लारी ट्रॉयलेस वैली, साउंड ऑफ ई. सो रिपीटेशन ऑफ वॉवल साउंड दैट इज ई, इट मीन्स एसोनेंस. यहाँ पर आपका एसोनेंस यूज़ किया गया है, राइट. नेक्स्ट इज रिपीटेशन. रिपीटेशन तो फार फार इसमें यूज़ किया है, फार फार फ्रॉम रिवर्स. सो फर्स्ट में भी आपका रिपीटेशन था, सेकंड में भी आपका रिपीटेशन है. ओके, नेक्स्ट स्टेंजा. देयर होम्स आर वेरी स्मॉल लाइक होल्स, क्रैम्प्ड होल्स, राइट. क्रैम्प्ड होल्स इट मीन्स हमने उनके होम को कंपेयर किया है, क्रैम्प्ड होल्स. तो ये भी आपका मेटाफर है. cramped holes, again without using as and like word. जब as और like word यूज़ नहीं होते तो वहाँ पर हम metaphor यूज़ करते हैं. So cramped hold आपका metaphor है, right. Next is simile. Simile यूज़ किया है like bottle bits. See, like bottle bits on stone, like word है, it means simile है, and like word का यूज़ हुआ है, simile है. From fog to endless night. देखो from fog, F and F. So यहाँ पर आपका consonant sound repeat हुआ है, it means alliteration. So जहाँ पर आपके consonant sound repeat होंगे वो आपका alliteration है. From fog, F sound of F, ठीक है, it means alliteration. Next stanza. Next is show the children to green fields and make their world run azure on gold sands and let their tongues run naked into books the white and green leaves. So white and green leaves ये भी आपका comparison है. Comparison without using as and like word means metaphor, ठीक है, ये आपका metaphor है. Here white means books. यहाँ पर हमने education की बात करी है, knowledge की बात करी है, तो white का मतलब है books. And green leaves means nature, right. So books and nature are expressed in form of white and green leaves. So the white green leaves open. So ये use किया है हमने books and nature के लिए. So it means metaphor. Next is anaphora. Anaphora means repeated words होते हैं but in two consecutive lines. एक साथ नहीं होते हैं, consecutive lines में हम जब repeated word use करते हैं it means anaphora. See far repeated words है but same line में है और एक साथ use किए गए हैं, इसलिए हमने इसे repetition के अंडर categorize किया था. But run naked into books the white and green leaves open, and इसके just above देखो run azure. So run azure on gold sands and run naked into books. So repeated words हैं बट consecutive lines में हम यूज़ कर रहे हैं run azure and run naked, it means anaphora. So यहाँ पर जो poetic device यूज़ किया गया है that is anaphora. Okay, so ये आपके कुछ poetic devices थे जो इस poem में स्टीफन स्पेंडर ने यूज़ किए हैं. Okay students, I hope आपको ये poem समझ में आ गई हो. Now let's come to the themes. So major themes of this poem is social injustice, class inequality, and third is poverty. Okay. See, social injustice, class inequality, poverty. Poverty children, they lives in a poor condition. They inherited Nile disease. They are undernourished, right. They are unlucky heir. And class inequality and social injustice is there, right. So social injustice, class inequalities, prevailing in the society, and lack of education. So overall we can say this poem is a criticism, right. Criticism of the utter neglect of these children's need for education and all round growth. So their condition, it can be improved. This is possible only when the government realizes their duties towards these slum children, if they provide them a good opportunity so that they can improve their life. So social injustice, class inequality, and poverty, these are the three major themes of this poem. And main motive of Stephen was to shed light on social injustice worldwide कि कितना ज़्यादा फैला हुआ है, and picture of the life of the school, slum area, children living in slum, their conditions. So basically he wants to draw the attention of everyone towards these children so that their life can be improved and they may get trained to become a good citizen, rather than criminals. So Stephen Spender, makes a frantic appeal to the educated and affluent sections of society to the betterment of the condition of slum children. because their only hope is education, right? So this poem is bitter criticism of the state of education in state school and slums. So these are the three major themes of this poem and पोएटिक डिवाइसेस थे. आई होप आपको ये सब कुछ समझ आ गया होगा. ओके, सो इफ़ यू लाइक दिस कंटेंट, this poem, do subscribe our channel and don't forget to like this video. Thank you.